Hey guys, David here from Geeks Not Dead. So today I'm going to be going through my budget commander deck. I play mono blue Talrand Sky Summoner as my commander. Basically it's a 2-2 for 2 colourless and 2 blue mana. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a 2-2 blue drake creature token with flying onto the battlefield. So Talrand speaks for itself. It's a case of just chucking a load of spells out there, which blue's perfect for, getting them drakes out and overwhelming your opponent. So early on when you first get Talrand out, and even later on, but especially early on, you don't want to play him on turn 4. You want to keep as much mana as you can spare so you can counter anything that your opponent throws at you when he's out. So try to stall for a while, but counter spells when he does come out. A few here that I run. A lot of them are fairly basic. Like I say, it's all about keeping it budget, but there's a few as well give you some extras. So where are we? So draw a card as well as countering a spell. Contradicts 5 mana, burn to ash. Same thing, only it's a creature spell. For an exclude again creature spell for free. So tons of other counter spells you can run, all down to you. Like I say, all down to keeping it budget for me, which is why I've got what I've got, but will be getting upgraded at a later date. In regards to dealing with opponents' creatures, you don't want them getting ahead, getting too much out there, getting anything too big out there. So one of my favourite blue cards, Polymorphist Jest, just screw them over. Instant speed as well, turns everything into a 1-1 blue frog. Got a few others, so tap X target creatures, Vapor Snag, which allows you to return target creatures to its owner's hand and its opponent loses 1 life. Again, Curse of a Swine, exile its target creatures and replace them all with 2-2 green boars. Silent Departure, Whisk Away, Voyager's End, Pongify, and Aether Spouts as the last one that I use. So again, just in case you're dealing with anything, a lot of them is for if your opponents get anything too big, but counter spells are there as well, to stop anything from beefing them up. But yeah, always worth having a bit of creature removal. In regards to card draw, pretty obvious with blue Treasure Cruise. Talent of a Telepath, Pull from the Deep, Dig Through Time again, pretty obvious. Anticipate, Pulse of a Grid, Jace's Ingenuity, Interpret the Signs, Thoughtcast, Ponder. Again, a lot of these are pretty budget, but all pretty self-explanatory when it comes to card draw. We also have a bit of general removal for anything else your opponents might get out there that you don't want to have to put up with. So Void Snare, 1 mana, returns it to its owner's hands. If they've spent most of the mana one turn playing one thing, drop it straight back into the hand for 1 mana. Number Crunch, which kind of love because it's got Gotcha. So return target permanent to its owner's hand with Gotcha. So if an opponent says a number and you say Gotcha, you get to put it back into your hand from your graveyard, which gives you a bit of something extra to pay attention to. But yeah, again, general removal. Cyclonic Rift I absolutely love. So return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand for 2 mana. Pay your overload cost of 7. And you basically make it so it's everything. So return each non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand. Absolutely craps on whatever they've got, basically. Puts everything back in the hand. If they've spent a few turns setting up, you've just absolutely ruined their day in one move. Brilliant seeing the look on people's faces when you do that. We absolutely love you for it. So in regards to your creatures, you go on a bit of something for beefing them up. So obviously you're going to have a lot of drakes out there. So Hour of Need, 3 mana, extra 2 mana for every other target beyond the first, and you can exile them and change them into 4-4 blue Sphinxes with flying. So you're basically turning your 2-2 drakes into 4-4 Sphinxes. Rise of Eagles, just drop another bird on there, or 2 birds on there, should I say again, 2-2s with flying. Talrand's Invocation, 2 more drakes. Rite of Replication, basically you put a token that's a copy of a target creature, pay its kicker for 5, and it basically does 5 copies of a target creature. Nothing major to copy. I mean, I only play a few creatures in general, to be honest. But Mass Polymorph again turns everything of yours into any creatures you can find in your deck as you go through. Proteus Staff, so onto artifacts obviously. For 3 mana you can play it, 3 mana to tap it and put target creature on the bottom of its owner's library. That creature's controller reveals cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals a creature card. Basically play it. So works really well. Don't run many creatures in the deck, but most of what you do, run the big stuff. Sacrifice a Drake, drop a big creature in there, basically. Prism Ring, so choose a colour, which you're obviously going to pick blue, and whenever you cast a spell of the chosen colour you gain a life. So again, works really well in a deck like this where you just drop in spells constantly. Add 1 blue to your mana pool for Sky Diamond. Soul Ring, add 2 to your mana pool. Sapphire Medallion, blue spells cost 1 less to cast. Again, choose a colour, going to be blue, add 1 mana of the chosen colour to your mana pool, so it's just a more way of getting a bit more mana going on those turns. Your quick creature has first strike and gets +X/+0. X is the number of instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard. You're going to have a few, or you'd expect to have a few. And Cage Sun, again, going to be blue and everything gets +1/+1, so you get a few Drakes out there. Play Cage Sun at 6 mana. The 3/3s with flying, there's not much going to want to deal with that. Then obviously I have a couple of enchantments. There's not many enchantments get played in this deck. I played Jace's Sanctum. Instant sorcery spells cost 1 mana less to cast. 2 less to cast. And Skywise Teachings, which whenever you cast a non-creature spell you may pay 2. If you do, put a 2/2 blue Jin Monk creature with flying onto the battlefield. So basically copying Talrand, just having to pay 2 to do it. Again, get everything you can out there. And then obviously we're going to be sacrificing a few of our Drakes to bring out other creatures. I mean, I've got Mass Polymorph. I want Polymorph as well, and I couldn't get it when I was buying the last few cards, so I need to keep an eye out for that actually. But I play Kraken of the Straits. Creatures with power less than the Kraken... Can't even speak. Creatures with power less than the number of islands you control can't block Kraken of the Straits. There's a lot of islands I play in the deck, so it's generally quite high. Scourge of Fleets. Return each creature your opponents control with toughness X or less, where X is the number of islands. Again, I play quite a few. Stormtide Leviathan with Island Walk. All lands are islands, as well as other types, and creatures without flying or Island Walk can't attack. Just stops everything pretty much. Ulamog's Crusher, just for a bit of colourless in there in case someone drops protection to blue. Jalira Master Polymorphist, again, does the same as Polymorph, only as creature you can just tap it and do it. Burnished Hart, just to get a few extra lands out there if you need to. Just in there basically, as I say, just in case. Onto lands, we've got Halmar Depths, enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order, just to draw what you want when you want it basically. Reliquary Tower, no maximum hand size. Arcane Lighthouse, other creatures your opponents control lose Hexproof and Shroud, and can't have Hexproof or Shroud. So anyone that's dropping a load of Hexproof stuff, preventing you from using your spells, Arcane Lighthouse deals with it. And Terrain Generator again, just get them lands out there. Could end up spending a lot of mana with the amount of things you can spend it on, so always worth having a bit of extra mana there available. The more the better. And then basically 35 basic lands. Checking that was a basic then. 35 basic lands, a few too many I think I need to replace a few, but works well. But let me know what you think of Talrand, let me know what you think I should be running instead. Like I said, I might be dropping a few lands especially, but yeah, let me know what else you think I should be playing in this and what cards I need to have and what you'd play in this if you do play Talrand, what you're currently playing, what success you have. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe for more videos. Cheers guys.